Hey everyone, John Michael here. On this episode of H2OMG, I visit Starrett Keel, a firefighter and fire safety educator with the Fort Worth Fire Department and a volunteer with the Fort Worth Drowning Prevention Coalition, or FWDPC. We talk about why Texas is the second-ranked state in the nation for fatal drownings and why Tarrant County leads the state in pediatric drownings. We also talk about how all the wonderful volunteers with the Drowning Prevention Coalition are using their Swim Safe program to educate kids and parents about water safety. Then I take a trip to an actual Swim Safe class at the Marine Park pool. You'll hear a little bit of the class and get a feel for what they're like. I didn't get this on the recording, but the first thing the 3-year-olds do is read a book about water safety, and it is adorable. I also got to talk with Pam Canell, the executive director of the FWDPC, for a few minutes. She was extremely busy, as I'm sure you can imagine. Thanks to Starrett, Pam, and all the wonderful people who volunteer with the FWDPC for letting me come out and helping to spread the word. The Swim Safe programs happen every summer, and there's one more coming up in July. You can find out more about the Fort Worth Drowning Prevention Coalition at fwdpc.org, including how to donate to this great cause. Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and tell your friends. Now on to the show.
My name is firefighter Starrett Keel. I'm a firefighter paramedic with the Fort Worth Fire Department. I am a fire life safety educator. We are coming from the Fort Worth Fire Training Center at the Bob Boland Public Safety Complex.
How long have you worked for the city?
I have worked for the city for 24 years.
24 years. We have a partnership with Glen Park Elementary, and hopefully the kids are listening right now. What would be the easiest thing that kids could do to stay safe in the water?
The easiest thing kids can do is, one, don't go around anybody's water unless you have a life jacket on, especially if you don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
And the second thing is always have somebody watching you, and we call those water watchers. Basically, as a parent, we are teaching parents to lifeguard your child. When your child is around water, never take your eyes off of them. In the Drowning Coalition, we have a saying, 2 seconds is too long to turn your back on a child in the water. And how we came up with that slogan was from 911 calls. When people would call in 911 saying their child had just drowned, inevitably they always say, I just turned my back for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, that's how long it takes.
Oh, man. Yeah.
The next thing is never go swimming by yourself. Always have somebody there with you. We call that the buddy system. Because if you were to get into trouble, the buddy could help you out by throwing you something, reaching for you, whatever. But whatever the scenario is, don't ever get in the water with a drowning victim unless you've been specifically trained to do so. Because now instead of having one victim, we have two.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how to properly approach a panicked swimmer, they're going to latch onto you like an octopus.
Yeah.
And now instead of having one victim, we have two. So if you ever encounter someone that's drowning, we say reach, throw, but don't go. And when we say reach, we can reach for them with a beach towel, a noodle, whatever you might have on hand.
Sure.
Throw something to them, such as a noodle or a life jacket, or if you're at the lake, one of the most impromptu flotation devices that you have probably on hand would be a cooler. Coolers float great.
Yeah.
Dump the contents out, throw it out there, they can latch onto it, and then pull them in.
Yeah.
But that's extremely important. The next thing is just knowing the pool rules. Kids, very important, no running on deck, no diving into the pool, no roughhousing. These are very important rules that kids need to know because drownings can occur in a very, very short time period.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, a drowning can occur in the time it takes for you to send a text message.
Sure.
And the other thing that I always instruct my parents is that when you picture someone drowning in your mind, what does it look like to you?
Yep.
Screaming,
Somebody
splashing.
Yelling, a lot of noise.
Right.
That picture.
Well, that's what movies have you believe occurs. In reality, drowning is quiet. It is silent. The only sound you might hear is when he breaks the surface of the water to take a breath of air. You're not going to see the splashing or the screaming because the body's natural instinct is to take a breath of air. If you make it to the surface of the water, you physically cannot scream.
Yeah.
The body's desire for air overrides everything else. So you're just going to take a breath of air and then go back under the water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The next thing is you're not going to see any splashing because the body's natural instinct is to propel your arms like this. I know you can't really see that on radio.
Yeah.
But so you're not going to see the splashing. So
Yeah.
to the untrained eye, it almost looks like calm behavior. There are many videos on YouTube that you can look at that shows drownings caught on closed caption TV. And there's one drowning in particular where two individuals are standing about 3 feet away from you and I, and there's a kid about 3 feet away from them that's drowning. And they don't even have a clue that he's drowning.
Yeah.
Because it looks so calm.
Yeah.
The other advice to give to parents is it is extremely important to know how to do CPR.
Yeah.
Because if someone drowns, for every minute that heart does not beat, 10% of that brain dies.
Oh, wow.
Will not come back.
Yeah.
So if nobody does anything until we get there,
Yeah.
you don't leave us a whole lot to work with.
Yeah, that's true.
So I encourage families to take a CPR class. It can mean the difference between life and death of a loved one.
Sure. So I read in the description of the Swim Safe program that Texas is the state with the second highest amount of fatal drownings, and that Tarrant County leads the state in pediatric drownings. So why do you think that is?
Well, believe it or not, we have more pools per capita than any other city in the nation. And kids are drawn to water.
Yeah.
And even like in the month of May, we've already had 7 drownings.
Wow.
2 of them were fatal, 5 were non-fatal. But so it just goes to show you that drownings can occur any time of the year. You know, they're not just specific to summer months. It happens anytime.
Sure.
But a lot of the reasons why we have a lot of drownings are kids don't have access to pools. And kids are curious about water. You know, I always joke with my parents and say, you can take a 4-year-old to the Sahara Desert. Hadn't rained in hundreds of years. Give him 20 minutes, he'll find a water puddle.
Yeah.
You know, because kids are drawn to it.
Yeah.
And especially in some of the lower income areas where we do have a lot of drownings, they don't have access to pools. And the only access they do get to a pool is normally after hours.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't know how to swim. So, and they don't really know what the dangers of water are.
Sure.
So.
That makes sense, because I was wondering, I think Florida is the highest.
Yeah.
And that made sense to me because of all the beaches.
Right.
But yeah, that's interesting. So what is a Swim Safe program like? What can people expect?
The Swim Safe program here in Fort Worth, we not only have kids in the water, but we also have stuff for the parents to do.
Yeah.
It's not just a drop the kid off, woohoo, parents free for an hour. I bring the parents in with us.
Yeah.
The kids are in the pool. I take the parents to another room, and I teach them all about how to stay safe around water. I teach them how to do CPR.
Oh, okay.
I teach them. I have other experts that come in from like the Corps of Engineers that talk to them about open water safety. And they get a lot of information to make them better parents.
Oh, interesting.
It's the class is 6 sessions long. It's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And it's not a swim lesson, it's a water survival lessons. What we're going to do is we're going to take your child who might be uncomfortable in the water, and we're going to make him comfortable in the water. The second thing is we're going to teach him how to float. We're going to teach him we will teach him how to swim about 10 to 15 yards. But that's about it. So we're just teaching a child, if he was to find himself into a body of water, he could self-rescue himself.
Yeah.
The great thing about the Swim Safe program is if the child is 5 or above, we actually have swim scholarships. So if the child is really liking getting in the water and really wants to further his progress, then we have scholarships through the YMCA and through the city of Fort Worth for actual swim lessons.
Oh, great.
So that they can continue their swim lessons.
So you mentioned that parents have to be there, and they all take part. It's a family thing.
It is a family thing.
Is there an age cutoff? Like, is it like young or
we,
too old?
We like to say we'll take you from 3 to 103.
Yeah.
We actually even encourage parents, if they don't know how to swim, get in the water with them.
Sure.
We'll even teach the parents right along with the child.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then it can be a family thing. Because a lot of people, that we find, especially parents that don't know how to swim, they don't really encourage their children to learn how to swim because
Sure.
they have a fear of water.
Sure.
So if we can break that cycle
Yeah.
and get the parent involved also, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Because swimming is one of the funnest and best exercises a person can do.
Sure. Yeah. So, in the movie Titanic,
Right.
They broke a lot of rules. The shipping company broke a lot of rules. They weren't thinking about people's safety.
No, they were not.
So does watching that movie make you uncomfortable?
I can browbeat a movie.
Yeah.
There are, my wife gets so frustrated at me because we'll be watching a movie and it's like, that ain't right. That ain't right. She's like, it's just a movie. Can you just watch the movie? But, yeah, they did a lot of things in there, I don't know why Jack didn't get on the door with Rose. I mean, I think there was plenty of room.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know how much flotation it would have provided, but I would have thought that Jack could have got on, on that.
It certainly looked like it.
Yeah, plenty of room.
What's your favorite water movie?
Believe it or not, it would have to probably be Jaws.
Jaws? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that movie when I actually saw it when it first came out at a drive-in theater.
Oh, wow.
This was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Of course, it came out, I think, in 76. But, of course, the first time I saw it, I was, of course, terrified of water after that.
Yeah.
But now that I look at it again, and it's anytime I'm flipping through channels and Jaws comes up, I have to stop.
It's on
watching.
a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like watching Jaws.
Nobody said that yet, so that's... So I was going to ask where people go to sign up, but I'll mention that in the...
It's swimsafe.org.
Swimsafe.org.
Swimsafefwd.org. Sorry about that.
Swimsafe FW. Is it a nationwide program? The SwimSafe?
No, it's not.
It's
a lot of the more metropolitan cities have some type of a drowning prevention coalition, but we have found that we're the only ones that combine actual in-water and dry land with the parents. And there's several other cities that's actually wanting to use our model.
Oh, okay.
And piggyback off of what we've already accomplished, and we're like all for it. It's like, yes.
It makes a lot of sense getting everybody involved.
does.
I mean, it can only help.
It only helps. I look at it like this. I mean, when you have a child, you are given an empty toolbox. And you need to put the right tools in this toolbox to make sure your child grows up to be strong and healthy, right?
Sure.
Well, my goal is to make sure that I give you all those tools to put in that toolbox to make sure that your child grows up and be great and successful.
Sure.
So that's my take on this.
Yeah. I think I read on your website that it's a nonprofit organization.
Yes.
You take donations,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So thhere can people go to make those donations? Same website.
Swimsafefwd.org.
Okay.
There's a link on there that you can actually donate.
Okay. And that goes to pay for like the instructors and all the people helping out.
Like I said, we're a nonprofit. Nobody gets paid.
Okay.
That goes towards during the class. If you show up for all 6 sessions and everything, at the end of the class, you are given a Coast Guard approved life jacket.
Oh, okay.
And the donations goes to help pay for the life jackets and other stuff. You know, we have to get goggles and noodles and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
So the last question I ask everybody is, if you had to live inside of one movie, what movie would you pick and why? And I guess you're not going to pick Jaws because that wouldn't be a fun movie.
Yeah, that's not really. Oh goodness.
It's a tough one.
That is a tough one. Now, some of my favorite movies are Forrest Gump.
Uh-huh.
You know, I do a great, Forrest Gump.
You do in the Forrest Gump impression?
Yeah. You know.
You don't want to do that on the microphone, do you?
Probably not. Uh-oh. Those automatic lights.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know. That's Sorry, I didn't know if I was answering that question. I like anything with Tom Hanks in it.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
I would, you know.
Apollo 13 is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live inside of it because that was really terrifying.
I would probably want to do Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
Because I'm a World War II history buff.
Okay.
And my grandfather fought in World War II, and he didn't land on D-Day, but he was like 2 or 3 days after. And that's my ultimate bucket list, is I would love to go to France and follow his footsteps.
Yeah.
Because I've done research on his battalion that he was in, and I actually have interaction reports that shows from day to day where they were at.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
What camp they stayed at, what kind of action they encountered that day.
Wow.
All the way up until the end of the war.
Yeah.
And it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So I could actually follow from town to town where he went.
That's really neat. That seems like kind of a rare thing to have, such detailed records.
Yeah,
from
whoever the commanding officer was kept very good action reports.
Wow.
And that's probably what I'd have to say my best movie is.
I knew my last job, I worked for the city of Seabrook near Houston.
Okay.
And I knew a guy who he's one of the city council people now, but he would take groups of people to Normandy and different parts of France and take them on a tour of all the different battlefields. Yeah. And
they
it's
have an actual tour group now called the Band of Brothers.
Oh, okay.
That actually takes you into Normandy, through San Marie-Glisse and like this stuff.
Oh, neat.
And I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Europe?
No.
Yeah, me either.
No.
All right. Thank you very much for doing this.
Hey, John, my pleasure.
This is great.
I hope I answered everything good.
Oh, yeah.
2 seconds is too long to turn your back on a child in the water. So please, eyes on class, always have your class in front of you. Stay with the class. If someone needs to go to the restroom or take a break, raise your hand. We have on deck people that come around. Be patient with us because sometimes we're looking over here and not looking over here. So just wave your hand, but don't leave your class. We need y'all with your class. 2 arms length from the class. Safety comes first, so you want to be able to catch someone before anything happens. Side hugs, high fives, fist pumps, and verbal encouragements are always welcome. All right, water buddies. Water buddy, your main role is eyes on. So you will not actually be taking anyone out in the water. So we want y'all to become instructors, but first you have to kind of learn our program and learn what's going on, and then you'll move into that position because we need our instructors, but we also need our water buddies. Please, all you do is do crowd control on the wall, and you engage with them, get them to kick, talk about some pool rules like no running, no diving, try and make a big connection to their students of why they're here. They're just not here to learn swimming because they're not learning swimming. They're learning drowning prevention, which is a totally different camp of thought that they need to connect and learn. All right, any questions at all? Let me do some roll call to make sure everybody's here.
Big breath, you guys. Big breath.
Lay on your tummy and put your blow the bubbles.
Can you and I practice together over there?
Do you want to lay on your tummy?
Okay. How about I'll help you at the very end, okay?
Today we're going to stay on our tummy.
Big breath.
Can you stand and sit on your tummy? And blow
Okay.
the bubbles.
We're going to do the next part. Are you guys ready?
Here we go. Let's go back. Bounce down. Down and up. Down and up. Can you go a little deeper? I love how you're going. Can you go? Wow! Look at she go! My goodness! All right, here comes the hard part now. Everybody hold on. I'm going to take one person out right here. And they're going to bounce on the bottom, and then we're going to Superman back to the wall. Here we go. Ready? You ready to go? I want you to kick off the bottom. Fast as you can.
So can you tell me your name?
Pam Canell.
What's your role here?
Executive Director of the Fort Worth Drowning Prevention Coalition.
How long have you been doing this?
We've been doing this for, we're going on to 8 years now.
8 years. Oh, wow.
Yes.
And
So
did
we formed in 2012 as a response to the drowning, what we consider a drowning epidemic in North Texas. And at that time, Fort Worth, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission had come out and stated that Texas was leading the country in pool drownings, and in North Texas we noticed a huge number of drownings, and so we approached Mayor Betsy Price and said, we got a problem. We think we have enough volunteers and people that have a heart for the mission that would want to come out and help the community and those who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to learn how to swim, to teach them to be safe around the water. We need to both equip our kids with life-saving skills as well as teach adults all layers of protection and how to be active adult supervisors around water.
Okay. And you guys are a nonprofit, right?
Yes, we are. We're totally volunteer-driven.
And you accept donations?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
How can people donate?
Go to our website, which is the Fort Worth Drowning Prevention Coalition, or FWDPC.org, and you can donate there.
Wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I know you're busy.
Thank you so much.